Behind me, you have one of the UK's first and only purpose-built skateboarding street spots. This is the Museum of Transportation, and we're going to pop inside and do a tour of the whole spot and see what skaters can actually get up to on these grounds. So you may be wondering yourself, why would they do such a thing? Why would they build the street spot for the skaters? Well, that's because obstacles like this and what we're about to walk over to just over here have been used by skateboarders for many, many years. Obviously, with this being right outside the front of the museum, the people in the museum have decided that to get the skaters out of the front of the building and where people are walking straight in, they built the street spot around the side to say, at least if you're going to use it, we've put one for you round the back so you can get out of the public eye. A great idea, definitely if you ask me, but still, skaters are always going to use what they've been told not to. It's just the way of the land. But this here looks like not only an incredible mani pad, but a ledge in itself with metal angle iron coping just all the way down. You can see exactly why skaters have decided to use it. It looks incredible. And this object over here that you saw me pass by a minute ago is almost better than some ramps I've actually seen at a skate park. So if we take a step over here quickly and have a little go. This thing here, super unique. Drop in off it to get a bit of extra speed for your ledge fiasco, but to be honest, it's not lined up very well, so you probably don't use it for that. It's got a quarter on one side with a little bit of a lip coping, no metal, just a concrete one, and a nice flat bank down the side that will be good for some precision flips to fakie. Looking at the state of it right now, you can almost do a skateboard angel on there with how icy it is, but this side, not so bad after all. Let's have a little rock fakie, maybe a couple fakies, and see if we don't break our neck. So everything being so icy, I'm thinking the main skate session will wait until after we've been in the museum and checked out the skateboard section of that. But I feel obliged, now that I'm here, to at least have a try. So let's do it, and yes, this whole first segment has been a Tom Scott impression. If you noticed, well done. Very icy, very, very icy. Will I continue? Likely not. Damn, son. I'll do a rock fakie though. I always am. Oh. I think for now, we'll leave this one just for the moment as it's extremely, extremely slippery, and this side seems a lot more dangerous than the first one I tackled. So the stage right here, as you can see, offers us a little bit of refuge from outside. You've got no ice, no rain, no water on said stage. The ledge does have a bit of a sketchy run up at the moment with the ice and the grit and whatnot, but very much usable in a drier condition. A few flip tricks back and forth, very, very fun indeed, except you do run the risk if you're a bit less confident in your tricks of hitting the glass, but I'm sure it's double glazed. But anyway, now we're gonna head into the museum, and hopefully by the time we come out, the whole street will be slightly drier. Fetch the car holes.
Imagine if cars still looked like that today. That'd be sick.
And behind me inside the museum, we have one of the skateboard exhibits. I believe this is the main one. There's a few other sections with skateboards, but this one details some of the history of one of the oldest Scottish skate parks, as well as some vintage skateboards, a little excerpt that goes around with it that talks about some of the things skaters go through, and also helmets, pads, and a patch that I find very interesting. Back in the day, when you're on a skate team, it would be very common in some places that you would receive a patch to put on your jacket or something to signify you as part of the team. This is a very cool little piece of history right here, and obviously you've got skateboard magazines from the 1970s to the 1980s. This one's summer 80, this one's 1988. A very, very cool exhibit. If you're into skateboard history, this is something you need to see. And babes, if you come over here, and behind that is this very cool half pipe exhibit that obviously shows a couple of skateboard models, one with an older looking style in the back, and one with a slightly more modern style popsicle board. A very Very cool exhibit, if you ask me. Definitely worth a visit, and that doesn't even include the rest of the museum, which has tons of cars, trains, bicycles, bikes, all kinds of locomotives, motorized vehicles, and many other things in between. Definitely worth a visit if you are considering it. And not even to mention, the whole thing is completely free. So if you weren't intrigued already, you've got no excuse not to. Well, that was disappointing. No, I'm just kidding. The actual Transport Museum itself was incredibly good. When I was talking disappointing, I only meant the way I got off that curb. Here it comes! Here is one of the ledges that obviously designed for skaters. It's extremely waxed. It's got that angle iron right around the side. And this is only a small segment of what you can actually skate here. We've got a big bench just behind Holly that I terribly dropped off of. And we've got another ledge, very similar to this one right here, just over here in the background, which is great because you can hit it backside and front side, right? If I wanted to hit a back 50, I would pathetically try it there. If I wanted to hit a front 50, I would do it just over there. It's always great to have a ledge that can be hit by both stances of skaters, and you've got a restaurant right here that we were just in having some lunch. So not only are you having a session, you're providing some entertainment for the people having their food. Cool, a bit sketchy, but I think we'll move on because I really don't like how small that is. Certainly something I'm not used to. But before we move on to the main section, I actually ended up trying this little two-piece trick selection right here with the tray flip on the bench and then the double flip off. It didn't take too long. This section's only about 40 seconds of the video, so see if I landed it or not. But quite an annoying one. It's super cold, but we're going to get round to the main part of the park as soon as I've potentially landed this. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, yeah, that probably counts, but the keen eye of you will know that was a terrible landing and it needs to be redone. Alright, now with that done and dusted, I think we're going to go around the side where apparently the main section is. The tray flip on the thing and the double flip off was so annoying, man. It's so fucking cold, and especially still on that bench. You may think that just stood up on a bench isn't going to make much difference. Got a mad headache now. Right here, we've got a nice curved ledge. This side of the thing, so much better. I don't know why it took me so long to get back here. Gonna have to do some B-roll for our short as well. Despite the ground being super wet, this bit's actually quite dry. Got a mani pad of a ledge. Definitely gonna have to hit a few on this. Not a bad little setup, to be honest. Surprised it took us this long to get here. It's a pity that so much of it is wet. Like, that would be so fun to skate the banks. The slappy curb on top of the bank, and there's a big gap over there as well. So switching back to the voiceover, annoyingly the camera died. It had like 25%, then all of a sudden it was just gone. So I thought I would do the rest of this tour as a voiceover and show you what we've got. So obviously, big curved ledge there on the right, goes all the way around. You could hit some mad slides on that. One of my favorite parts of the whole section was this gap here. You can see there's a bit of a concrete tiled bank that leads into the same on the other side, and a nice little dirt gap in between. You could put like a barrier there or any custom gap you want to add a bit of height to the extravaganza. And then you've also got this little wall ride bank here. You could hit a tail drop off that. A bunch of different things you could do off that. There's so much creativity you could have here at this street spot right here, and it's crazy that they just let you skate it. I think this is so cool. There's a slappy curb right here that was added in, and by God, it's actually a really nice slappy curb. It's just such a shame about how wet it is. Like, obviously it's my fault for choosing to come to Glasgow, Scotland in the middle of November where it's like -4 degrees, but there is so much potential here. Like, just look at this pyramid box. It's got hips, it's got a big slappy curb on top. So good. It's just a shame how slippery it was. You've even got this like really precision quarter pipe that's like a little bit of a better version of the one we saw at the start of the video. Like, hitting a blunt or a blunt kickflip on that would be so impressive. I'm definitely gonna have to come back here in the spring and have a proper session. The mani pads, also some of the best of its kind, I can't lie. But anyway, let's end this on my phone. So that pretty much concludes our tour of the Transport Museum skate section, behind it, beside it, and around it, and inside it. basically a very, very nice place to be. I'm gonna try and pop back in the morning to get some extra B-roll, because obviously you've seen how wet it is and I would like to skate some more of this stuff. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I've left all the details for the Transport Museum down below in the description. See you in the next video.